again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can come and get caught up on some of the latest news involving our Cleveland Browns and get a 10-minute take along the way. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you, if you can, please like the episodes, subscribe to the channel, and get your comments in the viewer comment section. Coming up on today's show, today is the day they're finally playing football again out at Berea. The rookie minicamp starts today, but I'm going to let you know why these sessions may not tell us much about our rookie quarterbacks. Also, the NFL being sued over the Sanders slide. Hey, did you see this? The new list came out of the teams with the hardest schedule in the NFL. This takes into account everything up until now. The draft, free agent signings, everything. We'll let you know where the Browns fell. And then coming up in the viewer comments, well, one guy thinks I'm an idiot. But anyway, I mean, that goes without saying. But let's start here. Off-season practices begin today with the rookie minicamp. And so they're out there, folks. This is actually phase 2 of the off-season program. We've been in phase 1 the last couple of weeks, which is just strength and conditioning, physical rehab, things like that. So what's going to happen today? Starting today, here's what they can do. Their on-field workouts are allowed, but they're limited to individual, group instruction, and drills. They call them perfect play drills. There's walkthroughs they'll do. There is no live contact or team offense versus team defense. None of that is permitted. And so that's why you're not going to really learn too much about our rookie quarterbacks based on this rookie minicamp this weekend. The players are only wearing helmets and shoulder pads. You know, they'll have jerseys on and cleats. Other than that, I mean, that's it. They're pretty much thrown against air. And here's the other thing. Because of the collective bargaining agreement, these sessions, the entire day, they can't go past 10 hours. And so they're also, there's a little bit of a limit on time. And so they'll have 30 hours to spend with the rookies. And like I said, there will be football played, but I don't think there's going to be enough for, they're not going to come out on Monday and say, hey, one of the two is the clubhouse leader in the quarterback room. And so that is what is going to be going on in Berea over the weekend. Now, what happens next? Phase 3 will begin with the OTAs, and that's May 27th, May 28th, June 3rd, June 4th, and June 6th. That phase will end with a mandatory veteran minicamp June 10th through 12th. So it goes in 3 phases. This will be the start of phase 2 today, and we'll see what happens. The rookies will get out there, kind of get the rust off from their off season, and then it'll all end in June with the OTAs. And remember this. Teams can conduct 10 days of OTAs, but still no live contact is permitted. Just 7-on-7s, 9-on-7s, 11-on-11 drills are allowed. So again, it may not be until training camp when you can really start to determine which quarterbacks are separating themselves from the pack. So it's going to be a little while, but nonetheless, rookie minicamp starts today out there in Berea. Now, did you hear about this? The NFL being sued over the Sanders slide. There's the guy, he's not giving up his name. Some guy he's in Georgia and just describes himself as a dedicated fan of Colorado football. Well, he's suing the NFL. He has no personal connection to Shedeur Sanders, but he's accusing the NFL owners of collusive practices. He says that they violated the Sherman Antitrust Act, and he accuses team owners of working together to influence the draft process. Experts say this lawsuit, though, stands no chance of succeeding. And although, I mean, there are other people out there, prominent media members, who have said, I mean, they agree with this. But the guy in Georgia filed the suit. And here's the thing, folks. Like, I hope they look into it. And I hope they found that there is nothing wrong. I hope nobody did anything wrong. And let's just be grateful for the fact that Shedeur Sanders fell to us. And now we have a quarterback room that is filled with hope. other than what we've had here in Cleveland over the last few years. Now, here's another thing that we had this last year, a tough schedule, and guess what, folks? The updated list of teams with the hardest schedule is out. This is put together by Warren Sharp of Sharp Football. I've been watching this guy for a couple of years. I love him. He's big on the sports betting scene, but he's really big when football season comes around. Does great research, has great information when it comes to the NFL and college football. And this is one of his things. He does this strength of schedule thing. And so he bases it, we'll tell you what he bases it on first. It's based on the projected win totals, right? And they incorporate everything. Off-season acquisitions, injuries, coaching changes, everything up until now. And here you go, folks. The teams with the hardest schedule. Number 5, the Vikings. Number 4, the Eagles. Number 3, the Lions. The team with the second hardest schedule in 2025, our own Cleveland Browns. And guess what? The Giants are number 1. The Giants have the hardest schedule. The easiest schedules, the 49ers, the Patriots, the Saints, the Falcons, and Bills. I thought I lived in a world where when you went 3-14, your schedule was supposed to get easier. Here's why I bring this up, folks. And this is based on Sharp and what Warren Sharp and what he has found over the years. So last year, just 2 of 10 teams that had the toughest schedules made the playoffs, the Lions and the Rams. And then listen to this. Of the 10 teams with the easiest schedule, 7 produced winning records and 6 made the playoffs. So believe what you want, but the system seems to work and seems to come through. So as a reminder, remember, our home, we'll find out on May 14th when the Browns will play these games. We don't know yet. We just know who they're playing and where. Home games, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Bills, Dolphins, Titans, Packers, Vikings, 49ers. Away games, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Raiders, Patriots, Bears, Jets, and Lions. I mean, we got the Jets in there and the Bears. So get it, so I don't know. Don't forget, one of these games is going to be in London too. So there it is, folks. We got that going for us now. The second hardest schedule in the league, according to Warren Sharp. All right, let's get to the viewer comments before we get out of here. And DJT4426 says to me, "You're an idiot." I mean, come on. We knew that already. But this is why he says I'm an idiot. See, you keep trying to throw shade at Deion and Shedeur. Let's be clear. You or the New York Giants couldn't stand in Deion's shoes. And stop making stuff up. And the one thing Deion doesn't have to do is apologize or do damage control. Now, he's referring to the story we talked about, Deion calling the Browns, he talked to Stefanski, he knows Bill Musgrave, clearing the air, essentially. Remember, I said call it what you want, whether it was damage control or not, after he said they wanted to go to the Giants. The bottom line is this. I 100% agree with everything, including the idiot part, DJT, because yes, no, there's no way I would stand. I love Deion Sanders, and this is the kind of guy Deion is, right? That video comes out, so what's he do? The Browns draft him. First thing he does, he's on the phone talking to everybody, clearing the air, making sure everybody's on the same page. So that was my whole point in bringing that up. Deion is just a first-class professional. Love the guy. And one of these days, I'm going to tell the story of a Deion that just is near and dear to my heart. Because it reminds me of my dad, the whole thing. Like, there's a whole thing with Deion and me. I love Deion all the way back to the Florida State days. But thanks for the take, DJT. How about GEW 2027? I might say that's good, but I'm thinking those are initials. Gabriel didn't play for a 1-11 team, and Shedeur was recruited by major colleges coming out of high school. He, Shiloh, and Hunter all just followed Prime, right? They went to Jackson State and Colorado. Gabriel never faced adversity on the Shedeur level. And you know what? I mean, I think they both faced adversity in their own ways. I mean, Gabriel has dealt with the height thing for so long. I will have to say, Oregon's schedule is probably a little tougher. I mean, especially when they got into the Big Ten. I mean, he beat the Buckeyes, although that was at home at night, which I think playing in Oregon, that's when I felt, that was the night I fell in love with Will Howard, to go in there and play like he did in what I think is one of the most hostile environments in college football at night. Will Howard held his own, but Shedeur definitely had his adversities, but I do think Dillon Gabriel had his as well. Dwayne Lumpkin 4400 says, the Browns better come into this preseason with an open mind. They have an obligation to make their quarterback decision based on what they see before them rather than some preconceived notions. 100% agree. And I think, like I said, everybody wants this to get going. Okay, it does get started today, but we're not going to learn much, this weekend. It's going to play out over the course of the whole summer, and it may not be until the end of August before we really know. And so, but yes, I really hope that that's the case. You got to see what's happening on the field. But like I mentioned before, folks, if it were up to me in a perfect world, I think I want these rookies to sit and learn for as long as possible. And I want them to be as ready as they can be when they finally get a chance to step in and take the field. All right, Paul, we're going to end with Paul Pass 123, who says, so massive, in capital letters, which means he's yelling at me. Clickbait seems to be your thing. All right, I get at least one or two of these almost every show about the thumbnails. And every time I respond, I don't do the thumbnails. So I do the videos, but I don't do the thumbnails. So you can yell at me. That's okay. I can take it. But I just wanted to let everybody know on here, I don't do the thumbnails. So whatever happens in the thumbnail, just know I had nothing to do with it. But I'm just glad you ended up here and you got to visit with us on our little show. And then hopefully before you leave, you like and then subscribe. But also throw your comments in all the time. Always welcome. All right, rookie minicamp starts today. Football is back in Berea, folks. It feels good to say. All right, that'll do it. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.